Like, one of my favorite things from history is the victor is not victorious if the vanquished does not consider himself so. Like, so where that comes from is from a Roman poet during the first Punic Wars. And Rome at the time was not the superpower that it became. It was still just, I think at the time it only unified Italy and was now fighting a war in Sicily and like in Carthage. But despite having lost thousands of more troops than the Punics or the Carthaginians, Phoenicians, depending on which language and which history book or in which country you come from, uh, despite losing thousands more, despite having lost their navy on 3 different occasions, their navy was destroyed on 3 different occasions, and Carthage was just like, man, like, we beat them in battle. Their navy is in shambles. Like, the war is over. We've won. Let's just go back to making money. The Romans were like I didn't hear no bell. And then
I didn't quit.
yeah. And then what ends up happening? They force Carthage to concede a lot of things to Rome, and eventually, the Romans took control of the Mediterranean, to control a lot of the known world at the time. It was quite simply because they didn't give up. They lost. They lost several battles, and they made fools of themselves several times along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But they never lost, or they never quit. And one of the things, and like, as corny as it is, like, if you just truly have the attitude, something is not over until I win, it doesn't matter how many times I fail. So when people, like, I'm very grateful to be surrounded by good people, but I do acknowledge that I put myself out on the internet. So, and I have like a really small channel, so there's not a lot of people like criticizing me anyway. But if anyone were to throw any amount of criticism at me, it's like, oh, you're fat, like you keep cutting every year, and like you lose the same 10 pounds and all these things, and like, your numbers have moved maybe 5-10 pounds and things of that nature. It's just like, yes, that's true. Like, if they're saying a factual statement, I can't like argue against that. And it's just like, there are issues with my process, issues with my mindset that have allowed that to be the case. But at the same time, something I always remind myself is, am I done? Like, did I quit lifting? Did I quit training? Of course not. So why should I expect that the results that I have right now, as good as they are, or as mediocre as they are the final results? There's no reason for me to assume that, because it's not over until I win. And like I said earlier in this podcast, if I die on my way to victory, if like life gets cut short in whatever way possible, because the next day is not promised or something of that nature, if people can look at whatever I'm doing that day and say like, well, he was trying to accomplish this, that's enough for me.